Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Airsoft, where today I'm unboxing the Golden Eagle M4 CQB GBBR. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe, because you're really helping me out to get seen by the YouTube algorithms and grow the channel. There is a link down below in the description to my Linktree page that links to all my socials, including my Discord, which if you haven't joined it, you definitely should. It's a great place to come and meet other people that support the channel and have a chat. There's some really nice people on there. And channel memberships are active. It is just 99p a month to support the channel. Totally optional, but absolutely massively appreciated. You guys get your own videos, some bloopers, you get your own private chat area, and your own giveaways as well when we hit big milestones. Massively appreciated if you do that. So we've got, finally, I've had this a few months now, picked it up earlier this year, 2021. This is the Double Eagle Gas Blowback M4. It's the first one I've ever had, GBBR M4, and quite a few people in my Discord are excited to see what I thought to it. So we've got the box itself then is fairly simple. We've got a sticker on this end telling us it's the MC6624. It just kind of rolls off the tongue, that title, doesn't it? Apparently though, it's the electric air gun. Pretty sure it's not. And it's also telling me that it's a electric power there. Pretty sure it's not, and I hope it's not. I'll be disappointed. We've also got the same sticker on the other end. I assume that's just a little muck-up on their part. So the box then is nothing massively special. Let's just check the underside, just plain brown. And let's get into this and see what it's like. So we've got JG-esque, which I believe, I'm led to believe from stuff online, that Golden Eagle and Jingong are effectively the same company now, or owned by the same company, so it makes sense that the similarities. So you've got the nice sort of closed cell foam in there, and you've got a nice little user manual in there about removing the magazine, filling it, turn on by pushing the lever, press down on the lever, off. Not entirely sure why we turn a mag on and off, but okay. It's showing you where the handguard, ejection port, nice, fairly going little manual. We have got an op-up adjuster inside the front rails, which we'll look at. Fire control, operating the stock, easy enough. Moving parts, and a blown up exploded diagram of the internals. That's quite handy to have at times as well. And the back, so we'll get that out of the way. We've got some rail covers. That's quite nice. We've got some rail covers. We'll have a look at those shortly. Little bag of BBs we're never going to look at again. We've got a cleaning rod. We've got our gas M4 mag. And we've got the M4 itself. I quite like that. That's quite a nice weight to it as well. So fully loaded, it's about 3.5 kilograms, and these are retailing around £140 inside the UK. I'll get rid of that red end cap. They are Western Arms based from what I've seen online. So if you can get a Western Arm sort of compatible mag, then it should work with this quite happily. So let's have a look at the externals then. So you've got a metal flash hider at the front, which has got a little grub screw under it. There will be 14mm threads under there. You've got your sling loop. The front raise, I just did notice there, is a little bit free moving. Typically what we find is there's like a little catch thing under here with a screw in the top that tightens it down into the delta ring here, and it doesn't seem to be on there. So there is a little bit of play in there. In terms of the lower part, if you pull down on this ring, you can remove that lower handguard. There is our hop adjuster, that little dial there that clicks. There we go. And I'll put that back in. Misaligned. There we go. Back in place. We've then got a polymer body, upper and lower as well. We've got metal mag catch, metal bolt release, metal selector, polymer pistol grip, polymer rear sight, polymer stock on a metal buffer tube. It's quite nice and solid to be, I'll be honest, other than the rattle in the front, and considering it's a polymer body, I am impressed at how solid that actually feels. And I'm pretty impressed in that. I couldn't see anything just before filming this video that indicated what the inner barrel length was or what the bore was, but I will see if I can find that and put that in the text over the images right at the end. Just sort of to let you know that. The stock then is 1 position, 2, 3, 4, I think that's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is a 6 position stock on there as well. I don't mind that stock too much. I probably would have preferred, for my own preference, I would have preferred a crane stock on there. I just think they look a little bit nicer, but that's totally optional. Slight issue with my phone then, seemed to just suddenly stop recording. I'll have to keep an eye on that. So back in the day then, the M4 CQBs were all the rage with the I want to say Knights Armament Company CAC style front razor. That could be wrong. I could be remember that wrong. If that is something different, please do let me know, because I'm interested. And I do quite like the little bit shorter platform to it. For me, I even quite like M4s with the stock fully collapsed, or ARs with the stock fully collapsed. I just feel like it's significantly more comfortable for me to get into my shoulder, and I stay compact and light. It's quite nice. So with the mag fully loaded then, it does become, and the mag is pretty damn weighty, it becomes 3.3 kilograms in weight, and you can feel that that weighting is in there. So it does sort of take the weighting forward a little bit, but when you get your hand on the mag well or on the wrist grip, it sort of balances out quite nicely. And considering it is a gas with a polymer body, I actually think it works quite nice as a setup. Now, initially when I got this, things online seem to suggest this was a 30 round mag. I've since seen online that it suggests it's a 50 round mag instead. And I would say that with the BB loading that I did at the experiment, I would say that I would probably agree that it probably is 50 rounds, or very close to 50 rounds, that you're probably compressing BBs right down here. It's definitely more than 30. I was definitely getting more than 30 BBs in there. So I'm quite happy with the build quality, other than the front rail and the stock, which I've held tight, and I'll hold this front thing, look. There's no real movement, tiny bit in the upper, very, very little. Again, considering it's polymer, I'm impressed with the build quality and the fact that it's 140 pounds as well. What I will say is that when I first got it, I did a few test shots. I took it to the EAL. I had it just before my EAL game footage, and I test shot it, and then found that when I vented the mag, by accident, I was just messing about, pressed the valve too hard, it vented the mag, and it wouldn't retain gas after that. So I did send it back, and it's come back, and hopefully when I test it this time, it's going to be absolutely fine. So I'm going to go and do the usual range testing and chronoing and everything, and I'll see you in a second. So 228 up to 282. So let's do this rate of fire. Empty. So topped out at 360, bottomed out at 329. Fairly decent, obviously a little bit up and down, but it's green gas. Let's do that rate of fire. Okay, and we are back from the chrono then. So we've got green gas, Nuprol 2.0 green gas, and we got Abbey Predator gun gas 144A as well. So we'll do the 144A. So if we're getting FPS ranges of between 228 and 282, again, it was in about an 18-degree ambient temperature room. I would expect sort of jumps like that. You know, as you're shooting, the gas pressure's sort of up and down a little bit, and that's fine. In terms of rate of fire, it was only about 8 to 10, possibly a little bit fast. It sounded faster than sort of like 10 rounds per second. That could be down to my chrono, just because it is playing up a little bit of late. What I did find though is that I thought the mag was empty, and after a couple of full auto bursts, I found that the Predator just did not have the pressure, the power to sort of keep powering the bolt properly to push a BB in and things like that. So although it made some sort of noise, it wasn't actually doing anything and sort of just making a noise, but it wasn't actually firing the BBs. So I charged it up with green gas and found that off it went again. It was quite happy. So I would possibly caution against 144A. Again, this could be down to my conditions. I was full auto in it after just chronoing it. It could just be that that has caused an impact there, that the mag's cooled down, you know, the pressure's gone. And if you just stick to single shot, that's probably going to run lovely. So moving on to green gas then, it topped out at 360.7 FPS. Obviously, that's a little bit above UK limits, and that was in 18-degree heat. But the saving grace there, I suppose, is without the hop set. There was no hop set whatsoever on that. So you set the hop, it's probably going to bring you down. You might find on a warm summer's day in UK, the 144 possibly goes above 300 FPS. The green gas might put you over 300 FPS, but you're going to have to see and experiment in your sort of settings and everything. In terms of rate of fire then, it was about 10 rounds per second. It felt a little bit faster than that, felt a little bit nicer. Not incredibly fast, certainly not AEG fast. But, and this will probably make Mike 001 on my Discord really happy, the kick, particularly from green gas, was pretty damn nice. I'm not going to lie. I do like electric recoils. I've got a couple of KWAs that are electric recoil, and I do love that recoil, and it's definitely stronger than a TM recoil. That definitely did. As the younger people say, it hit a little bit different. That the recoil from that was definitely a little bit different to what I'm used to even from an electric recoil. And it was quite nice that kick in there felt snappy, it felt satisfying to shoot it. So just keep in mind that it is going to have quite nice crisp, particularly on the 2.0. The kick was definitely nicer. On the Abbey, I did feel like it was underpowered. I felt like I was underpowering it by putting this through it. I'm also going to make an admission that I think I may have been a bit of a muppet, because I had a very similar issue. After doing this and dumping the gas out after using the green gas, I vented the mag using the valve, which you shouldn't really do. It's not good for it, but this is in the name of science and experimentation. And I found that instantly I'm trying to put Abbey gas in and the gas was just venting out of the top. So I'm like, great, it's gone, it's not working. And for some reason, what I found is if I pressed this little tab down here, the valve itself was sticking. I don't know if you can see that, I'll move that up. There is a little catch that comes down there. I actually believe that it was sticking and keeping the valve open, which technically means I look an absolute muppet. That actually I didn't figure out to press that button and then test it, and it released. And as you can see, it's currently sat where it's not catching the valve, and the minute the valve is pressed, it will catch on it. So yes, I feel a bit of an idiot, I suppose, is probably the best way to describe it. So if that was the case, I feel a proper numpty. But never mind, moving on. Just in case that happens to you and it keeps venting gas, press that little catch first, and see if you can get it to sort of reset the valve. It may just be stuck behind whatever this is to vent the gas, which obviously wasn't helpful in my case. The actual range then, so we did 2.5 gram tracer BBs with the tracer on the end, the one that does the muzzle flash as well. And I'll be honest, the range was pretty impressive as well. I was a little bit inconsistent at times just because of the change in gas pressure from one shot to another, but I was getting sort of probably, I would actually say, argue about 40-ish meters range, if not a little bit further. It was particularly dark, a little bit windy, so some of them were pulling off in some directions. But I was finding it was definitely easily hitting 40 plus meters, pretty much every single shot. There was the odd one where I don't know whether it's sort of just because it's new, maybe the barrel's a little bit mucky or something. The odd one would just sort of drop a little bit shorter than that. But generally, I was finding that 40 plus meters it was just absolutely flying, and that was on 0.25 grams. I found that I had to barely touch the hop at all to set it either for 0.25 gram BBs. So you may want to run a little bit heavier just for that consistency and things like that. But I was really, really, really impressed with the range out of it, especially considering it's a gas blowback as well. Again, I couldn't find the barrel specifics, but I'll see if I can get them at the point of editing, and if I have found them, I'll put them on the text at the end. So the next thing I'm going to go to do then is we'll have a quick look at the Riz covers. Now, I'm not going to lie, they don't look the best of quality, so they've just got a metal clip at the end, which typically, I believe, is supposed to go down the end like that. So you're supposed to push it in. Now that one doesn't actually click in at all. Let's get in that one. Oh, that one. Okay, let's try another one. Now, I suppose it's one of those things where I should remind you that it was only £140. This only cost £140. Oh, that one's a bit snugger fitting, so I've pushed down on it to open that up. That one does fit and sits quite nicely. That's quite nice. I'll get that on. Again, another just loose one. Let's see if this one fits. This one feels better. Much, much better. Now, it may be that you can probably just bend these metal clips in a little bit to get them to fit a little bit nicer, and that should do the job. And I dare say it's probably just the metal of these little clips here that are just not quite molded round far enough. But to remove them again, I quite like that look with those on there. It's obviously keeping your fingers and your gloves safe from what potentially could be the sharper edges there. So you just push it and slide that off, push it in, and famous last words, there we go, slide that off. Quite a nice little accessory that. I'd probably mount a little vert grip, one of those slightly inclined ones, which I much prefer to have the incline going backwards because I feel like it matches with the pistol grip. And I've seen people mount the inclined ones the other way, which it's like, ooh, it makes me cringe a little bit, but okay, everybody's different. Probably go with a torch on there, maybe something like an EOTech or something on top, or some sort of other type of red dot on there, just as accessories to spruce it up a little bit. Who doesn't like a couple of nice accessories on there? So we'll go to the gloved operation then. So this was a feature requested by my Discord, which I'm quite happy to do. I do think it adds something a little bit to the video. The range, I do apologise for. I am working on getting a better quality range at some point. So then, we'll start with the easy, simple stuff. So nice and easy and basic. The stock, dead easy to use. In terms of the hop adjustment, I can quite easily operate that with my gloves, put that back in place, manipulate that delta ring and drop that back in place. So that's absolutely fine. I could do that mid-firefight, not that I would want to. Magazine then, easily in. I did find it is a snug fit going in there, and occasionally it does need a bit of a tap. Charging handle, fine. Because the mag's empty, it stayed open. It's obviously not going to fire because the mag's empty. And I'll sort that out. There we go. So I'm pretty sure I could operate that. The selector, by the way, does click very nicely and firmly into the various positions. The mag, you're probably going to need some sort of adapter. You're going to have to feed, take the gloves off now. I think with an adapter on my speed loader, you could probably quite easily fill this mag, but I found that I had to feed or fill them up by feeding the BBs in from here, but then downwards at a slight angle to push them down. They wouldn't go in at the top because the gap is too small on the top. So they had to go in, but angled down slightly from the front here. And even then it was tricky. So I assume there is some sort of adapter that will help with that. But I'm happy that I could operate that with gloves on. So this is my first GBBR M4, sort of popped my cherry, if you will. And do you know what? I actually really enjoyed using it. I'm not going to keep it, and that's probably going to upset Mike equally, purely because, as with other gas blowbacks, I just don't think the British weather, well, this is the first point, I'll come to another one in a second. The British weather, I just don't think always is sort of happy to help with gas blowbacks. I did forget to mention as well that the pistol grip is the thinner style, like you would get on like a real AR, and that much thinner grip is quite nice. AEG ones are much thicker to accommodate a motor. These are much slimmer, and it is very comfortable. It has got the little corners that are rounded off, but they're still not exactly mega comfortable. And I can imagine, particularly without gloves on, over a day's play, that corner there and that corner there are probably going to rub and cause you a little bit of soreness. So the British weather is not always amenable to gas blowbacks in general. And the other issue is the mag capacity. Unfortunately, I am extremely trigger happy. I will just rattle through BBs all day long, just because I love it so much. So for me, having such limited ammo in each of these mags, and then the mags being as heavy as they are, and they are pretty bulky in themselves, you know, having potentially going to have to run like 8 of those to even be moderately capable of running a game, plus a tin of gas, plus a speed loader. That's a lot of weight, and these mags are not cheap. They're like 40-50 quid a mag at times as well. You know, that's a lot of weight to have to carry. That, for me personally, is just not my bag. I prefer lightweight, sort of easygoing rigs, although, excuse me, I don't always run high caps. High caps are nice because they are light. I just don't like the rattle, but I would run mid caps, and 100, 120 round mid caps would work better for me than 50 rounders. But don't let that put you off. If this is your kind of thing, I'll be honest, I've been really, really impressed with that. I've had no issues other than the mag, which actually might just turn out that Pheas is an idiot. Entirely plausible. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I dare say I could maybe be tempted if I did a lot of mil sim again, like the Sterling Airsoft events and other sims, things like that. I potentially could be interested in investing in one of these for that sort of environment where there's not an awful lot of shooting, limited mags, limited ammo, that kind of thing. I could probably be tempted to come back to this as a platform and run it from there. So in a minute, I will leave the usual photos for you to see with it a little bit dressed up. Please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed this today. I have thoroughly enjoyed unboxing it, and I will see you next time. Bye.